Today I learned that superheroes are real. If only Stan Lee were still alive to see this, he would be absolutely giddy with excitement. Today on Twitch, there was a streamer that proved to the world and defied science by showing everyone that she can queef on command.
Do the queefing thing, it's amazing. You like the queefs? Yeah, I can literally queef on command. You guys want to hear this shit? Y'all want to hear this shit? Hold up. Let me just put the microphone right here. Did you guys hear it going into my vagina? Now let me push the air out.
This was the queef heard around the world. It went viral on Twitter, and for some reason a lot of people emailed me and tagged me saying, "Charlie, look at this shit. Can you believe what Twitch is allowing on their platform? This is outrageous." Thinking that I would be upset about this, when really I was just fucking stunned. I was beyond impressed. I didn't know it was possible to queef on command. I thought that was just like a myth, like a unicorn. But she proved that it was real. Or did she? You know, it's possible she actually just shit her pants. You know, there's no way to confirm 100% that it was a queef. It could have just been straight ripped asshole that she was playing off as a queef. I'm not trying to get the tinfoil condom on and go full Alex Jones conspiracy theory on you, but there is the potential that it was faked. But let's just work under the assumption that it was not faked, was authentic, and she's able to queef on command. This caused such a big stir on Twitter for some reason. I saw a bunch of streamers, like partnered streamers, and then like streamer journalists, people that only report on live stream fails clips, also talking about this, saying, "This is so fucking disgusting that Twitch would allow this kind of absolutely deplorable content on their site. Did you see her queef? This is fucking crazy. How is she not banned?" And then she did get banned. I couldn't believe it. I don't understand why this would be grounds for a ban. It's no different than when XQC juices a fucking fart on stream. Or me, for instance. When I fart, my farts are pretty pathetic. It just sounds like an empty bottle of hair shampoo that you puff the last tired little bit of air out of. But regardless, when I'm about to fart, I usually give fair warning like, "Brace yourself, chat, here comes a fart," and then I rip some ass. You know, it's no different than just ripping ass on stream. XQC will like fucking aim his butthole at his mic so it's picked up in fucking surround sound high definition quality, and she did the same thing by bringing her mic closer to the vaginal gamma burst that she was about to unleash on stream, right where the labia would start fucking flapping under the pressure of the queef and vibrating. Like, it's no different. The only difference is instead of the air being pushed out of an asshole, it's pushed out of a vagina. That seems to be the only difference here. And that was enough to make people outraged. I'm going to show a couple tweets from some angry streamers that had a real issue with this. I'm not going to show who the accounts are because, like always, I never encourage anyone to go harass someone in their shit. So let's just read a few of the statements here. "Guys, we need to do something, man. Let's use our platforms and make a change. This shit is just purely unacceptable. People grind so hard on Twitch and this just spits in our faces. We must speak out. Yes, gamers, it is time we rise and stop women from queefing. We can't let them use Twitch as a platform for queef. Only we are allowed to queef out of our ass." I tell you right now, if dudes could fart out of their cock, we would be doing that shit all the time. I know on stream, I'd be juicing farts out of my dick. I'd be darting on stream all the time, dick farting. I'd go hard on that because it'd be great. Like, it's not like her whole content is queefing. This is a single, 40-second clip from one of her streams. I don't think every stream she does is her throwing her legs over her head and queefing on command for the chat. This isn't spitting in your face. She's not stealing your viewers. And even in the next couple tweets, he goes on to brag about how he gets more viewers than her anyway. So, I mean, I really don't even know what point he's trying to make. I don't know what about it is not okay. She was clearly making a joke out of a talent she has for queefing on command. No different than when XQC or myself or pretty much every streamer on the platform makes a joke out of when they rip ass. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that different. Forzen was banned a month for showing horse dick, but I'm glad this is allowed. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and set this up early. Forzen should have never been banned for that. It is still the most unjust ban in the history of Twitch that I have ever seen on that platform. For those that don't know, Forzen, big streamer, accidentally showed horse penis on stream. By complete accident, someone had sent like a picture that turned out to be a GIF. It changed to a horse dick for a split second and he took it off screen. He was banned for a month. Absolute bullshit dog shit there. But to compare that to clothed queefing is a bit of a stretch. As opposed to a penis from a horse, you get what just sounds like a fart. If your eyes were closed, you would think someone just farted on stream, but the fact that it's a queef is for some reason different, and I don't really get why. I mean, again, I have seen so much farting on Twitch. Are we going to start going after that next? Like, I don't get the big difference. And it's not like she was making it something sexual, like, yeah, for 5 gift subs, I'll fucking queef for you. And then she just breathed in her vagina, and then fucking queefed it out for more gift subs. She was clearly making a joke about it. Someone in chat brought it up, so she did it. The same people making a big hoopla about this, like, we need her banned, Twitch, please ban her, are the same people that turn around and whine immediately when Twitch bans someone they like for something simple and silly. You are literally doing the same shit you hate to see. It's very hypocritical. This is not worthy of a ban, in my opinion. It was under no sexual connotation or anything. It was a joke fart sound. The only difference is where the fart was blasted through. Instead of it being through the colon railgun, she blasted it through the fucking birth canal pussy railgun. But it's the same general effect. Like, there is no big difference. Just because it came out of a vagina doesn't mean all of a sudden now it should be bannable. It's fucking silly. I don't know how long she's banned for, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that whole thing was about how sexy queefs are, which is what brought it up. And maybe that changes the whole thing. I couldn't tell you. The whole VOD is deleted, and I haven't seen, like, a repost or anything. So I don't know what the fuck was going on that led to the queef superpower reveal. It was like Tony Stark revealing to the world he's Iron Man. So from everything I've seen, it doesn't seem like it was done sexually, just more as a joke. I'm unfamiliar with the streamer, but if it's just for a queef, I think that's a really fucking dumb ban, and I don't know why people are so outraged for the queef itself instead of the ban. I think you should be more worried if Twitch sets a precedent where farting as a joke is bannable. I think that'd be a lot scarier than just having a girl who can queef sometimes on stream. At least that's just my opinion. Again, could be wrong. Maybe the whole thing was a very sexual stream and she was actually banned for something where she was flashing the stream at some point. Couldn't tell you. The whole VOD's deleted. This is the only thing that's left, and she said it's for the queefing, so that's all I have to go on. That's about it. So yeah. YouTube recently banned a large community of VTubers over a trend they started on stream. And now I bet you're expecting me to follow this up by saying that it was unjust, makes no sense, is a bunch of dog shit and baloney, and demand that we go out into the streets to riot and protest. But that's not the case. This ban wave makes complete sense and is the most obvious outcome to this trend that they started. It's a trend that I'm sure none of you are familiar with because it was only big in Japan and only big in the VTuber community. It's the Splatoon 3 adult video trend. And as advertised with a title like that, it involved porn. Basically, a VTuber group called Shinsegumi got together and hatched the novel idea of playing porn in Splatoon 3 by changing their ink transparency so that way it could work like a green screen. So during stream they could play porn over the green screened ink. And the whole competition or challenge idea was whoever could last the longest on stream without getting banned wins. So they went into this knowing full well they would be banned for it, and they got exactly what they ordered. Their entree came out piping hot because they all got banned. And the Shinsegumi official Twitter account had to come out and make a statement. All the individuals that participated so far have apologized, except for like 1 or 2. But most importantly, it brought the boogeyman out of his shadow. Nintendo came forward and made a statement about this, about how seriously they're taking this because it's such a violation of their policies. They even loosely threatened legal action against them, from what I understood. Maybe it was a translation error with their message, but they came out with a series of tweets letting everyone know how fucked up it was. And that's a big deal when Nintendo comes out and starts slinging meat, because they are brutal. Nintendo shows no mercy. They would absolutely imprison a 4-year-old if they were using the Mario license for their birthday party without official expressed consent from the Nintendo company. Like, they enforce their policy and their copyright and everything around Nintendo property with an iron fist. Nintendo would burn a hospital to the ground if they found an unauthorized third-party Princess Peach plushie in one of the patient's rooms. They are not a company to fuck with. And I feel like this could be a pretty bad deal for the Shinsegumi team here if this wasn't a translation error and they actually do pursue legal action. because Nintendo will stop at nothing. They will pursue you to the ends of the earth. Now, I'm in no place to say whether or not this was worth it here. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but this is certainly one way of going out with a bang. This is quite the statement. Like, if all of them were just tired of being a VTuber or something, this was a great way of just voiding their contract on the spot. Apparently, the porn they were broadcasting starred one of the VTubers in it, so I'm assuming it was just like some hentai that they were putting on stream in Splatoon 3. It's an interesting idea. It's something I wouldn't have thought of, using the ink in Splatoon as a green screen. That's pretty genius. Like, you could do some really fucking banger watch parties with that, I guess. Porn is a little aggressive, but hey, you know, who am I to judge? As of right now, that's as far as this story goes, but I'll keep my finger on the pulse of it to see exactly how it all unfolds. But there is one more thing I want to bring up, and this one's not goofy or silly or anything. This one actually has a lot of meaning to me because I was so personally attached to the property. The creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently passed away. I'm sure you've all heard about it. Kazuki Takahashi drowned recently this year, but today new information came to light on exactly how it happened. And it turns out the man was just a fucking saint, an actual hero. He drowned trying to save people that were caught in a dangerous riptide at the cost of his own life. An army officer came out to tell exactly what happened during this situation, so there's investigation going on for the last couple of months about like what exactly unfolded here. So it turns out what happened is 3 swimmers got caught in a dangerous riptide, and a nearby army officer named Major Robert Bourgeot, I already know I'm fucking the name up, and I'm sorry about that, went in to try and rescue them, and Kazuki Takahashi also jumped in to try and help save them. And they were able to save all of the swimmers, but unfortunately, Takahashi drowned in the process. So he gave his life to try and save others, and I just wanted to recognize him for the hero that he was. You don't have to look very hard to figure out that Yu-Gi-Oh! Played a big part in my childhood. I mean, I have cards on my wall over here, cards over there. I watched the anime every single week that it broadcast. I was a huge Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan and still am to this day. He created one of my favorite franchises ever, and he was also just a great man, clearly. So I wanted to at least put this out here so that way everyone knew that Kazuki Takahashi was a fucking legend. And also, of course, huge hats off to Major Robert here for his heroics as well. And yeah, that's really about it. See ya. One of the largest streamers on the planet just caught a permaban from Twitch. Adin Ross, I'm sure this is a name you've heard of by now. He's absolutely blown up over the last couple years, and last night he got banned again. This is far from his first rodeo. He's actually a veteran in this field. He's gluttonous when it comes to Twitch bans. He's eaten those puppies like muffins out of the oven. This is his 8th ban, and by far his most severe. As of right now, it seems like this is a permanent ban from the platform, and just like the mystery of why I'm so short, the reason for it is unknown as of this moment. However, a lot of people, including myself, have been speculating as to what the cause could have been. Recently, there's been this unholy floodgate, like a dam that's broken in the mind of Adin Ross's brain, that's led to him making the worst decisions imaginable over the last couple months. So you might not be familiar with Adin Ross Twitch streams, but you've probably heard his name because this goofy goober streamed the Super Bowl on Kick. He just streamed the entire Super Bowl watching it without permission from the NFL. It's not like he had some kind of like back alley handshake deal with Fox or the NFL to rebroadcast it. I'm pretty sure Adin Ross can't even spell the word license, so he didn't have the rights to restream that shit, but he just still fucking went hog wild with it. Now, nothing has come from it yet. I don't know if anything will. As I understand it, in cases like this, the lawsuits take a couple months before they start to actually form. So if they do decide to pursue action, it probably wouldn't have happened now anyway. It'd still be a couple months out. That's if they even decide to. Then there's no telling if they will. But clearly it's a huge no-no to freely rebroadcast without the rights the biggest American broadcast. You can't do that. It's illegal. Now, let's say you haven't heard of that fumble that Adin Ross recently did with the Super Bowl thing. Maybe you've heard of him over the last week or so because he also just freely streamed porn on Kick. While streaming, Adin Ross decided to go to Pornhub, I guess to make a point about how you can do anything on the site. and he just he showed porn to his audience. And keep in mind, a lot of his audience is very young. They're minors. They're actual children. Now, he's not going to face like a felony charge from this that I've seen a lot of people say he might, because in the stream title, I believe he had 18 plus there, which I guess is a legal safety net for him to fall back on. But everyone knows Adin Ross viewers are skewed very, very young. So it's still a very fucking creepy and weird thing to do, especially with that audience and on stream. Now, what makes this really interesting is how hypocritical it is, because Adin Ross has recently come out very hard against porn. He's taken up the Master Shield and he's blocking anything sexual. He's made these very huge statements about how porn will ruin your life and addiction to porn is gonna send you straight to hell and it's gonna make everything in your life miserable. And he's not wrong. Addiction in any form is life ruining. Porn addiction is a super insidious one that absolutely does ruin lives. But he's taken this stance of porn is the devil. It's the ultimate evil. And then he turns around and watches porn on stream. He just hasn't been making smart choices. It's just been one bad decision after another from him recently. And also, it didn't help that a few clips from his previous streams started going viral on Twitter, and people were calling him racist for those clips. Now, I haven't seen all of them. I've only watched one of them, and to me, it seemed more like a shitty joke that was poorly done, as opposed to evidence of him being a legitimate racist. But I haven't seen all of them, so I don't really know for sure or anything like that. But the only reason I'm even mentioning those clips is because this is another thing people are pointing to as a potential reason for his Twitch ban. But anyway, after his ban on Twitch, he did go live on Kick like an hour or so later in order to talk about the whole situation. And my god, that devolved into complete unhinged lunacy. Holy shit. That went wacko mode off rip. It was brutal. He went from like talking about the general situation immediately into trying to bring on actual Nazis. And I don't use that fucking word lightly. I hate that the word Nazi has become so meaningless and watered down. Literally everyone gets called a Nazi now if it's even a slight disagreement on even a trivial opinion. When I say Nazi, I mean an actual neo-Nazi, a self-proclaimed Nazi. Adin Ross wanted to bring on to stream to learn from, I guess, or interview. Super weird idea. He was on some goofy shit. He even asked Trainwrecks if men can get raped, and then made it seem like he doesn't think that's possible, like that whole concept of a man can also be the victim of rape. Like that was lost on him, like it didn't compute in his mind.
So just keep your eye there. You know what I'm
Train,
saying? Keep your eye on
I
every
have a
corner.
question. Can guys get raped?
Yes.
Guys can get raped?
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
It works the exact same way. It just, right? Like, we can talk about it later, and you can ask me and we can clarify things. But yes, men can get raped too, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Train.
All right, bro.
Thanks, Train.
It's baffling that that even needed an explanation for him. And the fact that he even got combative about it, like, give me an example, is super concerning. You can hear Train is also surprised and stunned, like, what? Like, you can't be serious. But this is, again, just only another small piece of how off the rails this stream went. So it devolved into absolute wild madness, much to the chagrin of Trainwrecks, Trainwrecks being one of the owners of Kick. Train was literally in a call with him trying to like talk him down from these terrible ideas and literally advising him not to do half the shit that he wanted to because of how bad it made the entire site look and what that opened the site up to and the reputational risk associated with all of it. So it was just a complete disaster from top to bottom, but he did say something that shed light on his ban.
Did they tell you why you got banned, or like not them specifically, but like in the email?
Yo, Blood, thanks for the host, bro. Okay, so yes. I got banned for basically I don't know if I should say that publicly. My legal team is advising me not to. But
Don't say it, yeah.
But Train, what I will say is this though. What I got banned for makes no sense because I haven't. It said all I can say is it occurred on. It says it occurred on stream or on VOD. It wasn't occurred like somewhere else. It basically was occurred on my stream or on my VOD. So it makes no sense. Does that make sense?
A little confusing here, but as I understand it, Twitch is claiming that something Adin Ross did happened on their service, whether on stream or on one of the Twitch VODs, and it seems Adin disagrees with that, thinking that whatever they're talking about happened elsewhere. I believe is the situation. It's a little hard to follow since he and his team aren't revealing what exactly the reason is, but it seems they were given a reason, which is more than a lot of people get. Usually with a Twitch ban, they don't ever tell you what the fuck you got banned for, you just have to guess yourself. which is always such a fucking headache. And I also think this highlights a problem with Twitch and the way they handle bans. I don't understand why they don't just publicize the reason themselves. That would make every situation significantly more transparent for everyone, the streamer, the community, literally everyone. Unless it's like an actual legal matter, I don't see why they don't just reveal the violation that the streamer made. But I'm getting a little sidetracked. Adin Ross did get banned on Twitch. They did give him a reason. They haven't revealed it. Him and his team have not revealed what it is yet. I don't know if they will or if they're planning to anytime soon, but they do have a reason, and it seems Adin thinks it's nonsense, and it seems like whatever they're pointing out as the cause, they're arguing happened on their platform, while Adin seems to disagree with that. But yeah, that's where this whole situation's at. This happened while I was streaming last night, so I saw most of it unfold in real time. I'll go ahead and play you some clips where I started making other speculative guesses, some potential game theories on what Twitch may have slapped him for. I don't think any of them are good reasons. If any of these are accurate, I don't think they are, but I'll still show you these anyway, just in case one of these does turn out to be one of the actual reasons. I'll look like a fucking genius for getting it right, I suppose. Though again, I don't necessarily think any of these are good reasons. This must have actually just happened, like, during this stream right now. Because there is nothing on Twitter about it. Here, let's check LSF. Usually they're hot on the case of everything. Nothing on LSF. Oh, no, wait, here. It's in the Rising from 10 minutes ago. Yep, Adin Ross just got banned. Did he do anything recently on Twitch? I know he showed the porn on Kick and all that, but did he do anything on Twitch? Oh, true, he did make that statement about moving the Kick. I don't know if that's a violation of Twitch's terms or something. They didn't ban Ninja when he moved to Mixer. He went live on Twitch saying he's live on Kick. Is he live right now on Kick talking about it? Well, immediately got porn. I just wanted to see if he was live, and it's just immediately porn. But yeah, I don't know if that's true with what Chatter said there. If you go to the streamer bans, it says the ban was 12 minutes ago. Yeah, this is fresh. This is right off the press. This shit still got steam coming out of it. Well, it looks like he's gonna have to really jump in with both feet on Kick now since he's no longer got Twitch. Hope you already signed that contract, because if not, oh boy. I hope for Adin's sake he already signed that Kick deal, because otherwise Kick is going to negotiate the fuck out of him to bring it way down. They made him a seriously high offer. It wasn't 150 mil, but they gave him a bag. Like, offered him a bag to move to Kick, but that was under the assumption that he'd have Twitch. Like, they had to get him off of Twitch, because he's already got a huge audience on Twitch. But if that's gone, they no longer need that bag because he has really not many other options. YouTube's not going to pay him to go to YouTube, I doubt. So Kick is going to really negotiate hardball on him, I think. So hopefully he already signed that contract. Otherwise, he just missed out on a lot. God damn. They must have accidentally CC'd Twitch reps on those contract negotiation emails and they wanted to fuck him up. He can still go to Facebook Gaming. True. There's always Facebook Gaming, I guess. No, I don't think they banned him because of his whole Kick stuff. Because, I mean, Train literally owns Kick, or at least a part of Kick, and he still actively streams on Twitch. He's not banned. So I don't think that was their reasoning for it. Something must have happened, or, maybe they actually did take the off-platform porn broadcast into consideration. I really couldn't tell you. Why was his Kick stream bannable on Twitch? I don't know if it was or not. I'm only speculating on potential reasoning, because I don't think he was live over the last couple days. I'm just taking spitballs, just like everyone else. Is the kill yourself thing bannable? Again, I don't know if Twitch actually enforces the off-platform behavior rules. I think that was just meant as like a scare tactic, like a little boogeyman thing to keep in mind. The whole kill yourself thing was the message he sent to Jake, who reported on him streaming porn on Kick. He sent him a message saying, keep yourself safe, KYS, and then like a little smiley face at the end. I don't think that would have been why Twitch banned him. I have no clue. Just one short week ago, everything we thought we knew changed forever. It was like when Albert Einstein came up with the theory of relativity. It's all been shaken now. I still remember the glory days before August 29th, 2022, living in an ignorant bliss, naive to how corrupt Twitch had become with their enforcement of their own rules. That's right, August 29th is a date that will go down in infamy as the day that Twitch showed its true face and brought with it a catastrophe, a devastating Coombsday, when a streamer got fucked live on Twitch and Twitch responded with the lightest ban of all time. I already talked about this in a video, but I wanted to follow up because they've decided to stick with their initial decision of a 7-day ban. So a week ago now, a streamer by the name of Kimika had sex live on Twitch, while an entire marching band clapped and cheered her on in the chat. It was about 100 concurrent viewers at the time. I don't know if the coitus actually reached its climax. I couldn't tell you because she got banned before anyone finished, except for some of the people in the chat, I'm sure. But overall, a very successful stream because normally she averages like 20 viewers, and this one, it was triple digits. So she got paid a visit by old Saint Nicholas, and it was broadcast live on Twitch, and she paid the iron price. She got banned. And you would expect that Twitch would crack down pretty hard on it, since this is their #1 golden rule that you can't bend and you cannot break. Streamers have been banned for months if they wore clothing that was too revealing. So having full-blown, cheek-clapping, ham-steaming sex on Twitch, you would expect there to be some pretty big consequences, a permanent ban. But that wasn't the case. Twitch decided to not even give like a slap on the wrist, they gave just a playful little tap on the tuchus. They gave her a 7-day ban. And now she's back to streaming, and her return stream has been her biggest stream ever, clocking in at 800 viewers at one point, blowing her previous numbers out of the water, and skyrocketing her follower count from 30 to right around 2K right now, 2 to 4K. For some reason, I'm getting mixed data. On Twitch, it shows 2K, but on some of the Twitch tracking sites, it shows 4K. But regardless, she's had a massively positive gain from this whole thing. Alright, thanks to Caleb and I doing some super sleuthing, we've cracked the case. The reason why there's a big follower discrepancy as well as peak viewership discrepancy is because she had 2 accounts. On one of her accounts, she broadcast the gland-to-gland combat, and this is the account that gained 4,000 followers. The account with 4K followers, she closed, but she did a comeback stream on there, and there is still some clip evidence of it. So here you can see her most viewed clips are from September 4th, the comeback stream, 27,000 views, which is significantly more than she was getting before the penis meets vagina incident. And she gained a lot from it. Not only on Twitch, but one of her socials gained 100,000 followers on there. So just an absolutely genius marketing strategy to just fuck on Twitch and just profit. And she closed this account, like I said, she threw it away like a crusty cum towel. However, she does have another account that's still active, and I'm imagining is the one she's going to be using going forward. And that's the account that's gained 2,000 followers. And it's also an affiliate because you can subscribe to it. I don't know if it was an affiliate pre-coitus or post-coitus. I'm really not sure. I can't imagine Twitch banned her and then rewarded her for having sex with an affiliate deal. But who knows? Twitch seems so mismanaged when it comes to their rules. It's baffling. But what I want to talk about is what this means going forward. Twitch has set a precedent with this. And it's not just this, there's been plenty of other examples, but this is by far their biggest because it was just blatantly having sex live on Twitch, which so far hasn't been done before outside of just rebroadcasting porn. This was a streamer having sex live, and Twitch's response was a very light ban. So what does this mean? This means that any streamer going forward might honestly consider this as an actual tactic for growth. This was only her 8th stream ever, I think. I was going through all of her previous broadcasts, and I'm pretty sure this was her 8th stream. She had only streamed, I think, 24 hours in total across her entire streaming career until she fucked. And once she did that, that's when she had all of this massive growth from it. Prior to this incident, she would get between 20 and 50 viewers per stream. After this incident, so far she's only had 1 stream, but she never dropped under like 150. So it was extremely successful. It really does feel like a viable strategy for Twitch, since it seems like they don't care that much about it. So if I was writing a WikiHow guide on gaining followers on Twitch, this would be on the list of best practices. Just full-blown fuck. Get your back blown out on Twitch and take a 7-day vacation, come back to more viewers, more money, more followers. It's like an actual life hack. Want to get Twitch famous and become a big live streamer? Just have sex on cam. You'll be shocked at how well it works. Doctors don't want you to know this one simple trick. It's really just pretty sad. There are people that have been banned for so long for such little things. Again, Gideon is still permanently banned for one instance of bad behavior on rating another streamer with mean words, and yet somehow the biggest possible sin you can commit on Twitch is only a 7-day ban and is nothing but rewarding for the streamer that did it. It's just crazy. Their priorities are so out of whack, none of it makes any sense whatsoever. I would love for them to explain how this constituted only a 7-day ban. And I do genuinely wonder if this will become a more popular trend after people see how successful this was for Kimika. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I was absolutely blown away. I was expecting Twitch to not unban her, just quietly make it a permaban instead of making a big song and dance out of it, but no, it seems like they're pretty adamant that having sex on their service is not that big of an issue. So, oh well, that's really about it. See ya. If you've been on Twitter within the last 12 hours, you've already heard the massive news. LeafyIsHere is banned from YouTube. If Jesus Christ resurrected today, that would only be a side story, second place behind LeafyIsHere's termination. The response to the news has been split. There's a lot of people celebrating it as if their favorite football team just won the Super Bowl, and then there's people absolutely in fucking ruins, burning down their local high schools, refusing to eat, hunger strikes. I'm sure someone's gonna set themselves on fire like that monk a long time ago in protest. Shit has been absolutely wild. So let's peel apart these ass cheeks here and really dive in. So, in a nutshell, he was banned for bullying and targeted harassment. I think that's what they got him with. I think that's what they slapped him around with. I'm not entirely sure, but from everything I've read, that's what the charges against him were in the court of YouTube. So first of all, I don't think any content creators should be celebrating Leafy's channel termination. Even if you absolutely hate Leafy, hate everything about him, have wet dreams where he's being sent away to jail for life in an isolation chamber, you still shouldn't be happy that he got banned this way, because to my understanding, he had 0 strikes on his account before it was completely just fucking eradicated from existence. And if it can happen to a 5 million subscriber channel, it can happen to any channel. It happened overnight, like the fucking Tooth Fairy came in out of nowhere and just snatched his soul, his YouTube soul away, and had no priors. That should be scary to anyone that makes content on the internet, I would say. But I do disagree that this sets a precedent. I would argue this precedent got set a year ago, with Gokanaru's video on H3H3 getting taken down for the same reason Leafy just lost his channel: targeted harassment, bullying, threats. And then it happened again with Ian's content cop on Leafy: targeted harassment, bullying, threats, taken down. Neither of those got reinstated. Those stayed down. I would say that's when the precedent was set. YouTube showed that it's kind of Weenie Hut Jr. when it comes to anything it views as a potential targeted harassment campaign or threat against a creator. Now, to be fair, I understand this is a bit of a special case with Leafy in particular, because he made 12 fucking videos milking Pokimane. I don't mean like actually like grabbing on her nipples and like milking her, lactating. I mean, he milked this fucking controversy that he started on Pokimane. He had 12 videos insulting Pokimane in the title, laughing at her in the title, using degrading thumbnails to insult her. And I understand the content of all 12 of those videos wasn't solely focused on Pokimane. They were mainly like financial rants and shit like that. But still, having 12 videos all insulting Pokimane in the title and thumbnail, that's viewed as harassment by YouTube. And to be fair, that's literally textbook harassment. Of his last 15 videos, 12 of them were on Pokimane. Only 3 videos that I can remember, I can't double check, but I think I remember it was only 3 videos in 2 months weren't talking shit on Pokimane in the title and thumbnail. So I think it's pretty obvious why YouTube viewed that as a harassment campaign. But what's surprising to me, and probably everyone else, is the fact that they didn't issue just 1 strike for this whole ordeal, the whole Pokimane thing. They issued individual strikes for each offense. And even if they only used half of his Pokimane videos, that's still 6 strikes all at once. If they used a third, that's 4 strikes. If they used a fourth, that's 3 strikes. All of them terminate his account. And that's pretty fucking wild. He went so far above and beyond the norm when it comes to milking internet drama that he made it impossible for himself to survive this new harassment policy they implemented. Now, do I think he's going to get his YouTube account back? I really have no idea. It's impossible to know for sure, but one thing I can say for sure is a lot of these commentary channels and just general audience are pretty fucking stupid. There's a lot of people accusing Pokimane and Ethan of getting Leafy's channel taken down. Ethan because he had a recent animation in one of Leafy's videos where Ethan's wife kills herself by jumping off a cliff or something, which again falls into that category of the threats thing that YouTube doesn't like that they got Gokanaru for. But I can tell you right now, Pokimane and Ethan had absolutely no fucking hand in that whatsoever. Now, I'm not their lawyer or anything, I'm not going to be like their Saul Goodman or anything, but I can say with a high level of certainty that there is not a single YouTube creator, not T-Series, not PewDiePie, that can go to YouTube and tell them how to enforce rules on their platform. They don't take any of that seriously. There is nobody that can go to YouTube and say, I want action taken against this and that, and YouTube would listen. That just doesn't happen. And I can say that with confidence because with our company, Human Media Group, we actually have a direct line to YouTube now. And, you know, like my boy George, I've been curious, I've been inquisitive, I've been asking, like, some actual shit that I've wanted to know for a long time to unravel the mystery of YouTube. And one thing I've learned is they don't give a fuck what a creator says to them. They want to stay as hands off of things on their platform as possible. So, if Ethan or Pokimane really did have a problem with all of Leafy's content, they would have to go through proper legal channels through a lawyer to have any action taken on YouTube's part, where it'd have to be an official document, lawyer, from court, everything that tells them it has to be taken down or the channel has to go online. YouTube would not do that on their own because of a legal nightmare. And I totally believe that because YouTube's a pretty soulless corporation. They're not going to really give a fuck who's coming at them asking them to take down or, you know, be the hall monitor for YouTube drama. They don't give a fuck about that. They want to stay everything as hands-off as possible and as automated as possible. So I'm pretty confident when I say no YouTube content creator has ever had a role to play in a channel being taken down like LeafyIsHere unless it was through proper legal means and like a lawsuit, which I don't think happened overnight. You might as well just start accusing the Boogeyman of being the one that took down Leafy or Slenderman or something. It'd make about as much sense as saying Ethan or Pokimane had that power. Now, just to kind of circle back on why I think content creators are dumb to celebrate Leafy's termination, well, it's because, yeah, while Leafy's was a pretty extreme case where there was so many videos targeting one person, the fact that YouTube took action this quickly without warning is a scary thing to see going forward because maybe the definition of harassment starts to get a little more vague and a little more blurred and you don't really know what starts to classify as harassment or targeted threats or bullying or whatever, and that's when it becomes very muddy. There needs to be very clear rules and clear action taken with transparency so that way you can avoid something like Leafy's ban being possibly the gateway to banning a whole lot of other shit that's a lot more innocent and not as on the nose as, you know, fucking more than 10 videos on something, you know what I mean? Now, do I think his channel needed to be taken down? No, I don't think so. I never support censorship in any of its forms. I think you guys know that about me. I think that's just a super fucking slippery slope. Once you start censoring things, it's stupid to think that it's only going to be used against things you don't like. Everything can be subject to the same treatment, even the innocent shit. It's just a very bad thing going forward. So I don't think his channel needed to be taken down. I'm not a big fan of Leafy's content either. I'm not looking for fucking financial advice or to see the same drama stretched out over 2 months. So I'm not a huge fan of his content, but I don't like to see a channel banned like that. Now, I do understand YouTube has a rule on harassment, and you can argue he broke that rule, so that should have been a strike. But I don't think it should have been a strike for each instance of the potential rule break. It should have been one strike for that entire thing, and maybe give him a warning like, look, this is harassment, don't do it again going forward, you know? Hit the brakes a little bit. But that didn't happen. You see, you could extend this harassment here to pretty much every late night TV host. A reoccurring theme in late night hosts is insulting Donald Trump. Couldn't you make that same argument that they target Donald Trump just the same way Leafy did for Pokimane? And they've done a lot more than just 12 segments shitting on him. That could realistically apply to the harassment rule, right? But you wouldn't want to see the late night shit taken down for that reason. You might want to see it taken down because the hosts are really fucking boring these days and the content of the late night shows is terrible, but you wouldn't want to see it taken down because they make a bunch of jokes about somebody. That's just a dangerous thing. That's a very dangerous thing. I just don't understand how content creators of all people can't see why that's dangerous for them as a fucking content creator, because it's so vague you don't know how it's going to be enforced going forward. you don't know where it's going to lead. And I just think it's very silly to celebrate something like that, even if you fucking hate Leafy. So yeah, really, that's just about it. Just wanted to answer all these questions because I've already been getting a ton of them, and I figured might as well just talk about it as soon as possible before I just get flooded by more questions to talk about it. So that's about it. So yeah. Defining art's been extremely difficult for our species for many years, and I'm not going to sit here and try and define it because I really just don't give a shit about it. But on Vimeo, the line between what's art and what's bullshit is blurred. There's a fine line between creativity, art, and just plain fucking lunacy, and Vimeo tap dances on it and shuns anything that it believes doesn't quite meet that criteria of being art. And I'm banned on that site, and I never really talked about why. I got asked about it on stream last night at twitch.tv/moistcritical, and I figured I'd elaborate. On Vimeo, anything pretty much passes as art. I saw a fucking series of videos on there of an old woman in a morph suit that had the vagina cut out of it, and she had a bodyguard pick her up like he was giving her like a fucking Heimlich maneuver or going for a German suplex, pick her up, and she urinated in a circle as he carried her. He carried her in a circle, and she just urinated in a circle. And it was a pretty impressive stream because it was a circle that took about 30 seconds to complete, so I can applaud her for her stamina with urinating and peeing everywhere. But that's art. That was the whole piece. She pissed in this circle, the bodyguard mopped it up, and then, everyone gave a little golf clap to him, and that was the end of the performance. And it was a 3-part performance. It wasn't always a circle she was peeing in and shit, but it was called like the Fountain of Youth or something, some really pretentious name. And that's on Vimeo, and that's promoted on there. So how the fuck was I banned from Vimeo when their threshold for what's art is this low, where I could go on stage, fart into a jar, huff it, put it on Vimeo, and get fucking 2 million views and the pseudo-intellectuals applauding me for my art piece, my modern art? How the fuck did I get banned? That's what I'm here to talk about. In 2016, I made what I still believe is a very fine piece of art that I called Turbo Hotness. It's a modern take on the human figure. What it is I took a video from Twisty of a porn star fingering herself. The porn star's name was Euphrat, the actress, and she was fingering herself. And I looked at this and I thought, there's something I can do here. There's potential to expand upon this piece. It's a great piece as is, don't get me wrong. Like on its own, it stands still. It's a good piece, but I thought as a art connoisseur that I could bring it to the next level and really just take the whole modern art world by storm. So I took her fingering herself, that video footage, and I synced it to Dragon Force's Through the Fire and Flames. I meticulously synced the performance. So as she was fingering her clitoris, you were hearing the... It was really good. I'm really proud of the work I put into it. And honestly, I have to give credit where credit's due, because at the time when I made that, I was actually inspired myself by an artist on Snapchat, back when I used Snapchat. I haven't touched that shit in years now because they fucking ruined it, but I got sent to Snapchat by someone, and he was watching porn, and Through the Fire and the Flames was in the background, and I was like, wait a minute, this visionary is onto something here. And then I thought, what if I combined both mediums and I took music with fingering? And thus, Turbo Hotness was born. And by all definitions, it was a masterpiece. It truly was. But Vimeo didn't see it that way. Perhaps Turbo Hotness was too much for Vimeo, and they got rid of it and banned me. But I honestly think it's pretty fucked up that you'll allow all these weird pseudo-art piece pretentious bullshit things where you hang like a blank canvas on a wall and call it art, but you won't allow me to sync fingering with Through the Fire and Flames. And I put a lot of work into that. I was like a skilled surgeon behind the editing program there, watching the fingering in slow motion, frame by frame, mapping it to the Through the Fire and the Flames melody. It really was outstanding work. For instance, during the song, I'm sure most of you are familiar with it by now from Guitar Hero and other types of shit, but you know in the beginning where it goes dun 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 and then well, at that dun dun dun, I heard that and I was like, wait a minute, check this out. So I had her regularly fingering herself, and then when the first dun clipped, bang, I flipped it around, so now she's fingering herself on the ceiling. Next dun, bang, flipped it back on the ground, bang, back on the ceiling. It was beautifully synced, a lot of work went into it and a lot of thought. And yeah, on the surface, maybe it seems a bit juvenile to sync something like fingering, something so sacred, to Through the Fire and the Flames. But you have to, Vimeo, you have to dig deeper. You have to look in there with your artistic eyes. Like what I was saying, it's a commentary on the modern human figure. and the societal pressure to pleasure yourself as fast as possible so that way you can go right back into the working world, like what the society's telling you to do, that you have to be constantly working and being productive, that you can't take a moment to satisfy yourself and really take your time with it. Thus, the chaotic nature of Through the Fire and the Flames represents society's pressure to just finish yourself off quickly so you can get right back to work into the real world. And that's what I was really saying with the piece, Vimeo, and I think if you had just taken a bit more time and really analyzed Turbo Hotness, you would have seen that. I think you really would have. You were too quick to ban me for just some nonsense. It's a wrongful ban, and I truly think there needs to be justice for Turbo Hotness, like a fucking hashtag why Vimeo. It's just baffling to me, and I thought you all deserved an explanation. Not that I'm getting, fucking people emailing me every day wondering where Turbo Hotness is gone. It's not exactly, like the holy grail people are trying to find again, but it is gone. It's not on the internet anymore because I couldn't upload it to Pornhub at the time, which is why I used Vimeo, because Pornhub's uploader was being really shitty, so I went to Vimeo, and it didn't last very long on Vimeo. It was only up there for a week, and then after that, bang, poof, gone. So you can't find Turbo Hotness anywhere, and that's a goddamn shame. I think maybe the higher-ups at Vimeo are keeping it to themselves. Perhaps it was so beautiful they didn't want to share it with the rest of the world, like some pirate's treasure that they're now hoarding. Either way, banning my shit for that, just downright wrong. I have to say, Vimeo, I'm very disappointed. And now you all know why I'm banned on Vimeo. So yeah. I've talked about this a couple times in the past, but Twitch can be an extremely scary platform to be on. I'm not talking about because the people on it, like weirdos in the chat, constantly demanding feet pics or telling a female streamer that they have a butt-fuckable pussy or whatever dumb shit they want to say in chat. I'm talking about because of Twitch itself and their zero-tolerance policy for accidents. There have been countless examples of streamers who have made an innocent mistake where they're playing or watching something, then all of a sudden, bang, surprise titty on screen for half a second, and then they're banned the next day for it because context doesn't seem to really matter and they just don't give a fuck if it was on purpose or not. Also, you can get banned for really small things like a queef on stream, so it gets wild out there. But I've unintentionally laid booby traps on YouTube for streamers who do reaction-based content. And a couple days ago, one of my Macaulay Culkin Home Alone style traps was sprung by a huge streamer named Mizkif. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you the clip, and then there's a lot I'd like to talk about here.
As someone who knows none of the parties involved and I watched both videos, hey. Dream cheated. I personally would have went with the someone else messed with my mod folder defense, a less verifiable, tried and true classic. God damn it, Critical, you idiot.
The Council of Cock has decided your fate. You're a pussy. It's just Moby Huge's Get Over It. It's life, and it's beautiful. Now, Miz is a friend of mine. I can assure you that he's probably going to be fine. I don't fucking work for Twitch. I don't know, maybe he will get banned. Maybe we'll get fucking perma-banned. Those dicks were too big and violated the Geneva Convention or whatever. I have no fucking idea. But this isn't the first time it's happened either. But I want to say, this wasn't done intentionally. It is still, to date, probably the best thumbnail I've ever had for any video ever. It's from the Belle Delphine Will Not Beat Me video. And it has been just a true beauty, like a Renaissance painting. Real quick, if you're watching this on stream right now, Miz, I bet your heart is racing and you're starting to panic again. Fucking shaking your fist in the air. Damn you, Charlie, and your Moby Huges. Fucking haunted by the Council of Cock. Nowhere is safe, Miz. Sleep with one eye open. You never know when the Council of Cock might sneak into your nightmares. But trust me, Miz, it's probably fine. If you're watching this on stream and didn't skip the Moby Huge pictures, I wouldn't worry too much. But anyway, I've seen it around Twitter quite a bit, and a couple of other Twitch streamers have also encountered it in the wild like a legendary Pokemon and had to delete the VOD and delete all the evidence. I don't blame Mizkif for panicking because it's Twitch and you never really know what they're going to ban for and when. So it's not like I think he's a weak man or a coward for deleting the VOD. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just the Council of Cock, baby. Like, you know, it's not going to be offended by it. I completely understand. I know Mizkif can appreciate the art. I'm sure he's a fan, but it's just a little too risky for Twitch. I wouldn't be surprised if Mizkif eventually prints off this thumbnail, puts it on like a fucking Magic the Gathering card, and gets it a PSA graded to put on his wall. This is also not the first time Mizkif has fallen victim to this exact same thumbnail. Actually happened the day I released the video, too.
Yeah, true. Island, you taught me, Pokemon cards. I taught you how to steal content.
Is that how it works?
Dude, what is with that thumbnail?
A couple weeks ago, when Belle Delphine said to the world that she would be I'm straight up speedrunning Mizkif's permaban. His VODs are dropping like fucking flies at the face of the Council of Cock. They just can't stand the overwhelming masculinity. Yeah, this is like the new Rick roll for Mizkif. For some reason, he keeps encountering the Council of Cock. I don't know how it keeps happening, but my god is it joyous every time. I would like to address his community, though. I actually think Mizkif has a really, really fucking great community. And when this happened, they came to my stream that night, and they're like, Charlie, I think you just got Mizkif banned. Please help. What do we do? We're losing our savior. You fucked him in the ass, Charlie. What is going on? So I'll just play the clip real quick. Where I talk about it, and let me just go ahead and put those fears to rest right now. I'm pretty sure Mizkif isn't going to get banned. This has happened to a couple of other streamers that have actually reached out to me. Miz isn't the only one that keeps coming across like the big Moby Huge thumbnails or anything. Another streamer named Kaylee also said like, what the fuck is going on? Do I need to worry because I saw your Moby Huge thumbnail on YouTube? And I was like, no, it's probably fine. I don't think they're going to do anything about it. But anyway, let me show you this clip and then we'll talk a bit more. Thanks to resub R-Boss. Mizkif was scrolling through Twitter. He was reading Clint Stevens' prophecy, where he predicted the dream thing as a joke. And in the replies, one of the top replies was the thumbnail of the video I made with the competition with Belle Delphine, where I was sitting between two Moby Huges, kind of just going over the competition and the collection of dildos. And it said, the Council of Cock will choose your fate. And Mizkif just must be so acclimated to seeing dick on the regular. He just left it on screen while he was reading Clint Stevens' message very slowly, so it just sat there lingering with the Council of Cock and these two Moby Huges. And then he eventually notices, and he slaps his head like a fucking cartoon character, and he's like, Charlie, you idiot, and then deletes the VOD instantly. He is not going to get banned, but if he does, that would be an incredible way of going out. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this briefly. Obviously, I didn't do it on purpose with the thumbnails as a way of pranking streamers, though it has kind of turned into like a superpower. I have like the internet death note. I can just write a streamer's name in there and they'll come across the Council of Cock photo or other Moby Huge thumbnails or something, and it'll get him in some trouble, perhaps. But yeah, it's not, again, wasn't like some kind of evil scheme where I was rubbing my hands together trying to sabotage people on Twitch. Just some incredible thumbnails that Twitch maybe might not approve of. And I don't think any streamers have anything to worry about. If they have come across any of the Moby Huge thumbnails, I'm sure it'll be alright. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. There's no shortage of degenerates that stream on Kick. It's like if Arkham Asylum had their own streaming platform. It's this 24/7 Big Brother broadcast of just unhinged lunacy at this point. And somehow that always ruffles people's feathers. Like, no, it's not everyone, you can't say that about Kick. And of course, it's not everyone on Kick is a weirdo, obviously. But you've got to hop off the idiot potion here, snap back to reality, get out of the delusion if you think that Kick's public perception is anything other than entirely negative. There is so much crime that just gets broadcast on there. It's incredible how the FBI hasn't used it as a resource to bust some complete awful people. Like just recently, Something About Chickens made that video exposing the Kick Predator, and it's not like that's an isolated incident. There's quite a bit of that going on Kick, because the platform is attracting some putrid worms to it like this festering dumpster that's surrounded by mosquitoes. I'll always take every opportunity I can to mention this absolute ghoul. His name is Suspendus. Now, I know his hairstyle may be confusing you because it looks like a 2006 emo boy haircut, but make no mistake, this is a grown 40-year-old man who has become notorious for having sex with prostitutes on stream and at one point even had sex with someone while there was a child in the room. That's a felony. He streamed himself fucking someone with a kid present. That should be a go straight to jail moment. He should be thrown in the fucking slammer. But not only is he not in jail, he's not even banned on Kick. He is still a Kick partner and one of their bigger streamers, mind you. Now, him and his unpaid pathetic janitors have done all they can to keep that clip off the internet. They've scrubbed it from most of the original uploads, but I'm sure you can probably still find it somewhere archived. But it's not like an allegation. He streamed it himself. And if you were on the internet during the Kick rise, you probably saw that floating around because this is one of their first big streamers that was native to their platform before making all of their massive multi-million-dollar signings. This is one of their, founding fathers, basically. So you can't make a good argument that Kick isn't a platform that attracts tons of degenerates. And Kick doesn't give a shit. They just seem to sit back and be like, fuck it, that's alright, who cares? Like, I understand they want to be more hands-off and allow more freedom on Kick, but not to be the Poindexter putting my glasses up and telling on the teacher here, but perhaps it would be sensible to start drawing the line in the sand at broadcasting crimes on your platform. Like, maybe that's when you should step in and put the kibosh on it and actually start issuing bans. And that brings me to what I want to discuss and why I'm even talking about this in the first place. When Kick does ban someone, it's extraordinarily rare, and when it happens, it shocks the internet, you know, more so than if aliens had invaded the planet. And every single time, people are under this impression that it's some kind of permaban, like, look, Kick finally did something about this dumb asshole. And every single time I have to explain that it's just going to be a temporary ban, like 24 hours, 72 hours, something like that. Like, Kick does not permanently ban anyone. There's only like 2 streamers I can think of that were permanently banned, and one of them was the Kick Predator, but that was only after he himself took himself off of social media. He vanished. That man ordered a Hoover Max from the Breaking Bad universe and has never been seen again. So Kick got an easy PR win there by just saying, like, no, he's gone for good. He's not welcome back type of thing. And then the other one was someone who exposed like how view botting is so easy on Kick. I think they're still permanently banned. Outside of that, I don't know anyone else. Everyone else, like Jack Doherty and whoever else is broadcasting like miscellaneous fights or having like titties and pussy and ass thrown in the face of Kick streams, they usually only get banned for a day, maybe 3 days tops. And somehow every single time they get banned, like Jack Doherty, everyone just assumes it's like a permaban. Like, look, Jack Doherty's gone. The end of Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty's been destroyed. The evil has been vanquished, you know, all that kind of shit. When that is never the case and likely never will be with this platform. They only believe in these like really temporary suspensions where no one really learns a lesson. They just get like a tiny vacation for like a day or two. That's it. And it most recently happened with Neon. Neon was one of Kick's biggest streamers for like a month thanks to viewbotting out the wazoo. And 3 days ago he got banned for shit-talking a child on a video call where he like threatened to dox and rape them. He went a little wacky with the Xbox Live bravado here and flew too close to the sun and caught a ban for it. Now, he's always been obnoxious. And now that he's not as popular as he once was, he is desperate to once again suckle from that bosom of success, so he's been doubling down on this shtick and being even more obnoxious than ever. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip that got him banned. I'm going to censor the child for obvious reasons, though.
The fuck? I tried to be nice to you, bro.
The fuck up. I'll beat the shit out of you and your fat girlfriend, bro.
What the fuck?
That fat slut. I'll smack her in her face too, bitch.
And on God, I'm about to dox your entire family. What's your name?
You're not doing shit. Shut the fuck up. Suck my dick, bro. You a bitch.
What's your name? What's your name?
You fucking pussy.
All I need is your first name and you're done. I don't care. I'm an internet warrior. What's your name? Now, what's your first name, bitch? What's your first name, bitch? Tell me your first name, pussy. I don't give a I don't give a fuck if you're 10 years old. I will fuck you in the ass until you fucking bleed, bitch. I swear to God. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
I censored the kid's name because they said it. At least I think that was their name. I'm not sure, but regardless, I'll just play it safe. Anyway, you can see Neon blow a gasket there and have a conniption, so he goes into this, like, shit-talking mode against someone who's clearly trolling him. It's also clear that it is legitimately a toddler. That kid is probably not older than 10. I think Neon hit the nail on the head. That is probably an actual 10-year-old he is saying those things to. And he caught a ban, and everyone's like, it's the end of Neon! Neon's been wiped off the platform, thank goodness, the scourge, it's gone. And even other Kick streamers who don't like him, which is like every streamer in the world because no one really likes Neon, they were like, oh, thank goodness, he was such a bad look for the platform. And there were a handful of disgruntled Neon enthusiasts, because believe it or not, he does have some legitimate fans and supporters, and they asked for their parents' permission to use the crayons so they could write a letter to Kick to unban their favorite goober. But for some reason, people still haven't recognized that, just like Diamonds, Kick streamers are forever on that platform. He wasn't permanently banned, and I don't know why people thought he was. So he just got unbanned 15 minutes ago, as of making this video. As I said he would on stream, when people were just spamming me about like, wow, did you see Neon got banned? And as I said then, I said it's either going to be a 24-hour or 72-hour ban, and guess what? It was a 72-hour ban. Just like everything else on that platform. So he's already back. It wasn't even 72 hours really. This amounts to less than a slap on the wrist. This was like the lightest little pat on the keister here. I like to provide one little comical bonus nugget here, a little tidbit of lore. Neon is so incredibly annoying that even the CEO of Kick couldn't hide his dislike for this annoying douchebag.
Holy fuck, can someone ban the word neon? We don't give a fuck about neon right now. Listen, big shout out to all people who give, like, talk or, you know, do streaming or kick, but, like, come on.
You can find the full clip floating around there where he gives more context about the neon situation and how he's, like, not part of the band team or anything like that. But it doesn't matter because very clearly he gets so annoyed by the pestering buzzing from Neon and his fans that he just snaps from it. He's like, holy fuck, can we just ban this word from the chat at this point? And that just gave me a hearty belly laugh. Not even the CEO of the platform vibes with this guy or his community. He is so unbelievably unlikable that everyone in all corners, even on Kick, celebrated when he was gone for those 2 or 3 days. So yeah, he's back though. Again, no one stays banned on Kick. Very, very, very fucking rarely does that happen. So I just wanted to talk about this because Kick bans aren't real. They're just very slight suspensions, and I really wish we'd do away with the word ban when it comes to this. Just call it what it is. A little suspension. That's it. Nothing more. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Twitch is no stranger to controversy and bad decisions. In fact, when you think of Twitch, you often think of horrible choices they've made. They just go together like spaghetti and meatballs. But yesterday, all hell broke loose. Sin flooded the platform. An event occurred that was so big that it forced Twitch's hand to take action, and it led to yet another embarrassingly goofy display from the platform, and they're beginning to reach levels of silliness we only thought possible in fantasy movies. I'll break it down, though I'm sure you've already heard by now. Yesterday, it was just an innocent Thursday afternoon, you know, we're all doing our best to praise the Lord in our own special way, and then a streamer went live and had sex on Twitch. And that's not super unusual. If you scroll down far enough in the just chatting category, you can always find porn. So that's not exactly triggering the DEF CON alert system or anything, you know, just a pretty fucking ordinary day on Twitch. However, when Twitch banned the user, they only banned them for 7 days.
On TikTok. So I joined in her TikTok live. Then I asked her the $1 million question. I know why, but like, how long are you banned for?
7 days.
What the? 7 days.
Now, why is this situation such a big deal? She broadcast her visit to Dr. Dick and Balls and got banned for it. The problem is how long she was banned for. 7 days. You see, Twitch is very inconsistent with its enforcement of the rules. Sometimes it'll ban a streamer for a month because of one really small issue, or even no issue at all, like a misunderstanding. Sometimes it'll permanently ban streamers over fucking nothing. They don't enforce their rules equally across the platform, similar to what YouTube was just called out for by Corey Kinshin. Twitch, for a long time, has always been really inconsistent with its enforcement of their rules. And what you just saw there was a YouTuber named Gideon, massive YouTuber, and he used to be a Twitch streamer until he got banned 8 months ago. 8 months ago, Gideon was streaming and told his viewers to go to Pokemon's chat and spam L+ ratio, and he was permanently removed from the platform, calling it a hate brigade. And it's been 8 months now. Gideon's apologized. Him and Pokimane are on good terms, as I understand it, but he is still gone. Yet, this girl orders a hot dog extra wiener on stream and only receives a 7-day suspension. It's just makes no sense how the biggest possible rule could be broken, and yet they only receive a minimal suspension, whereas one singular case of bad behavior from Gideon doing the raid on Pokimane is apparently so heinous that it's worthy of a lifetime ban. It just, the punishments don't fit the crime. Clearly the rules are not being enforced the same way. And in Gideon's video, he brings up a lot of other examples of Twitch either playing favorites or just coming up with the most inexplicably stupid decisions for their bans. And one of them he brings up is one that I've talked about quite a bit. It's the infamous case of a streamer going live and then spreading her butthole and pussy at the camera. She goes live and then just puts her ass right at the camera and just fully goat-sees her chamber of secrets and has the pussy flaps all visible and everything. And just does that for like, what, 15, 20 seconds, something like that, and then goes offline. Claimed it was a mistake thinking she was on a different platform. She only received a 3-day ban. Hopefully you can understand why people are questioning these decisions and scratching their head wondering what the fuck is going on. And you can probably also understand why Gideon, as well as other streamers who have been banned in the past, are rightfully upset. Gideon broke a rule. you would have expected him to get a suspension of maybe like 7 days or something. You know, he harassed another streamer, that's a violation, so he gets a 7-day suspension, and that probably should have been the end of it. But instead he got permanently banned, and they've stood beside it for 8 months. So he's been banned forever because of being mean to another streamer. Meanwhile, this lady just broke the biggest possible rule on the platform and only received 7 days. Like, this doesn't add up. These aren't making sense.
I want to myself and shoot people at Twitch HQ, right? They extend her ban, obviously, to a perma. She wrote an apology letter to Twitch, and this is Twitch's response. After reviewing your case, we confirm that the correct enforcement was issued. However, given the details of your case, including the remorse expressed in your appeal, we have decided to reduce your suspension duration.
This is another strong example Gideon gives of the questionable policy enforcement from Twitch. This comes from a streamer named Narcissa Wright, and if you're familiar with that streamer, you know the whole story surrounding her and her mental health, and it's overall a very sad situation, but I think this case is a very important one to talk about in regards to Twitch and their policy enforcement. This streamer made a public threat to hurt themselves as well as shoot up the Twitch headquarters in response to a temporary ban they had received. After making that public threat, they received a permanent ban. And after making an apology to Twitch, she then got the duration reduced to 22 days. Well, why was her apology accepted and reducing her suspension time, whereas Gideon's apology didn't do shit, they just wiped their ass with it? Like, it's not making sense. Gideon's offense was much less severe than fucking on camera, getting your fucking back blown out, and also making terrorist threats about shooting up the goddamn company. Like, his is so trivial in comparison to all of those things, and yet his is the most severe punishment so far. And he's not alone. There's other streamers that have received permanent bans or extremely lengthy bans over small things. One that I've cited a lot is Forsen's ban a couple years ago, where Forsen accidentally flashed an inappropriate picture on stream and received a full month ban for a very genuine mistake, and only was there for like a single fucking pixel. It was like a second, but still. He received a much harsher sentence than someone actually having sex on stream. It's just ridiculous. There's no consistency to their rule enforcement, and the duration of their bans make absolutely no sense. I also don't understand the argument that a lot of you are going to make about how Twitch makes more money off a girl having sex than just like a normal streamer like Gideon. That's just blatantly wrong. She was not a big streamer. The girl that just recently got fucked on cam was not a big streamer by any means. I think she had like fucking 10 or 15 viewers at the time it happened. I don't even know who reported her, to be honest. I imagined at that point it's just friends and family watching, so I don't even know how the fuck it even became like a big enough deal that Twitch stepped in. A lot of this shit just flies under the radar on the site. But anyway, she wasn't a huge streamer. She wasn't making Twitch tons and tons of money or anything like that. And she's not like a big figure outside of Twitch either. You know, she has like 800 followers on Twitter. I don't know what she's got on TikTok or anything, but she is not like this huge money-making machine for Twitch. So then why are they doing everything to defend her, like stepping in front of the bullets and everything for her? A 7-day ban is nothing. That's not even a slap on the wrist. That's barely even a light tap on the bottom. You know, that's like a very like playful slap on the keister, if anything. Like, that's nothing. It's almost encouraging her to continue to do this because it helps inflate her like OnlyFans numbers or something. Why are they being so lenient on their rules for people that just exploit their platform? But then they'll feel totally fine to fuck people in the face like Gideon, Forsen, and a ton of other big streamers I can name. Those are like the people that are actually making Twitch money. They're big streamers, they have a big following, and yet they're the ones that are scrutinized the heaviest by the platform. Whereas the ones who are just having sex on it aren't even getting punished, really. Like, it doesn't make sense. It has nothing to do with money, clearly. Because if it did, then they'd be doing everything possible to protect the bigger streamers, and they'd be a lot stricter on people like this girl who had sex. But it's the opposite. They're doing everything possible to be lenient with the girl having sex, while hurting the bigger streamers when they do even the slightest infraction. Very, very shitty situation all around. Just a totally fucked situation. I wanted to talk about it a little bit because I don't understand where Twitch is coming from here at all. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah.